Welcome to Home Cooking with Dad. Today I'm making dinner and it's going to be mutton biryani. The recipe I'm using is a North Indian style recipe which includes yogurt and milder spices. Normally I do this recipe during festive seasons like Deepavali or some gathering. So let's get started making this dish. So for this recipe, I'm going to use 2.5 kgs of lamb. I've got about half kg of bones and the rest of it is going to be the meat. So for the spices, I'm going to use some cashew nuts, fresh cashew nuts, and some of the dry spices. I've got about 3 inches of cinnamon. I've got about 2 grams of, this is a nutmeg, and 3 bay leaves, about half teaspoon of caraway seeds, and this is cardamom that I've de-seeded, and I've got about half tablespoon of black pepper. And for the ginger garlic paste, I have about 400 grams of ginger and about 400 grams of garlic. And I will need to use also some sun-dried tomatoes. You can actually use either tomato paste or fresh tomatoes, but I have got some nice sun-dried tomatoes, which I'm going to blend that. And you'll need to use 2 green chilies, and this is about 100 grams of coriander, fresh coriander. I will need to blend 40 grams into a paste together with the green chilies. And I also have some fried onions. This is about a cup worth of fried onions. I'll start grinding off the black pepper first. Okay, I'm going to put this in the blender. So I have ground the black pepper and the nutmeg together. So I've transferred the lamb into a bigger pot, so easier for me to mix. So let's get started with all the ingredients. Okay, that was the nutmeg and black pepper. So this can go in. I'm going to use a teaspoon of garam masala. This is the homemade garam masala. Alright. Some chili powder. That's 1 and 2. This chili powder is not that spicy, so you need to adjust it based on your chili powder that you use. I'm going to chop up the sun-dried tomatoes. So the sun-dried tomatoes is chopped. The ginger garlic paste is, okay, I need to blend that up. Okay, I'm going to dump that in. That's about a teaspoon, more than a teaspoon of salt. You need to add salt as per your liking. Normally you don't add too much now, because once you cook you can taste and see whether it's too little salt, just add more salt. Now I'm going to blend the cashew nuts. I'm going to make it into a paste. So I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of water. Okay, so this is the cashew nut paste. You can see it's very fine. So for the green paste, I've got the 2 green chilies, put that in, and the coriander that has been washed. I'm going to add a bit of water, maybe about like 1/4 cup. Green paste. Now we need to blend the onions. Okay, the blended onions. Oh, by the way, the size of the meat that I cut was about like this, chunks. You don't cut it too small. I'm going to use yogurt, and if the yogurt is not too sour, then we will need to add a bit of lime juice. So we will need to use Greek yogurt. So 1 cup. I will need to use some lemon juice since I don't have fresh lemon. I need to use about 1 teaspoon. So this is half teaspoon. Yeah, maybe I'll put some more. I want it a bit sour. So now, once this is done, I'm just going to let it sit in the fridge to marinate for at least about an hour to 2 hours. And now for the rice, I need to wash. This is 5 cups of basmati rice. I use these cups, so it's 5 cups. We'll need to wash it and clean it and let it soak for at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes. The spices that I'm going to use during the boiling of the rice will be, I got 3 small bay leaves. I've got roughly there's 5 cardamom, then there's 1 black cardamom, there's 6 cloves, and 2 strands of mace, about 2 inches of cinnamon stick, that's caraway, half teaspoon of caraway, and 2 star anise. Okay, so let me get washing the rice. I need to prepare the onions. So what I need to do is, for the rice, I will be frying some onions. I need to cut, I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got 9 onions. These are red onions. I will need to slice them very thinly and then fry them in ghee. So now I'm going to fry the onions. I've got some ghee. So the onions, I've already diced them very thin. Okay, it's been sitting for about an hour, and now I've let it sit out for room temperature another half an hour, so it's about 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Okay, normally if I'm just doing it for 2 or 3 people, I will recommend that you use a pressure cooker. Alright. Okay, so we put it at the lowest heat. Just you can see, can you see that? That's the flame. Found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, as it will be helpful for this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Okay, now you can see the oil separating. So we're almost done. Taste for salt. Put a bit of salt. Okay, check and see it's tender. Okay, we're going to leave it open a bit, let it dry out the gravy. The meat is very hot, but I believe you need to cook another few more minutes. So now it's time to prepare the rice. I have been soaking this rice now for at least about an hour, and it's important for biryani that you soak the rice so that it takes less time to cook, because the rice is already saturated with water. I'm going to add in a little bit of salt. These are the spices. Now, because the rice has been soaking for at least an hour, as soon as the water boils, the rice will almost done. It will be cooked very fast. So you just keep an eye on it. Okay, the rice is almost done. In fact, you can see that. Yep, it's done. So I'm going to off the fire. This will be around 95% done. Let's check. What happened is, some of the rices that I'm eating is already cooked, but some is like maybe in a few seconds you need to cook. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to strain it. So we've got the rice ready, got all the ingredients ready. So just stir that a little bit. You can see that the gravy, there's not much oil. Okay, so here are some tips. If there's a lot of oil, what I normally do is I use bread and soak on top, or I just spoon it out. And if there's too much gravy, I take away some of the gravy. But this is just perfect. If you look at it, it's dry, right? So this has not, it won't be soggy. It won't make the rice soggy. Okay, so let's spread out. Just stirring it one more time. First layer I'm going to do. There's some coriander, fresh coriander. This was the onions that we fried earlier. I'm using only half. The other half will be for topping. The reason why I like to fry the onions rather than using store-bought is because the onions tend to be a little bit more sweeter. You can see the rice is here. I've already drained it out. This is warm milk. I heated up full cream milk, and I used some saffron. Put that in. This is milk, fresh milk with a bit of red coloring. That's coriander again. Some more onions. The one we made. Now we just need to warm up everything. It's a smaller one. Yeah. And the reason why you put a weight is normally you use dumb. They put flour here, but I just press it down with this because it's got weight. So here's the fragrance of the coriander. So we're done